Hey everyone, this is Antonio the 13th here with another quick YouTube update for my small account here. So for the week, in terms of realized gains, or losses for this week, I am down $213. So basically what attributed to my losses were the SPY calendar trades that I was doing that I talked about in my update last week. And what I've been finding as I've been doing these is that most of the SPY calendar trades that I've been doing this week have been zero data expirations, which did not turn out so well, obviously, as you can see. But the ones that I did last week, um, which were a little more successful, or sorry, the week before, were one data expiration. So I'm going to I'm going to continue trying these calendar spreads because I think there's a possibility that I could make these work. But perhaps I need to tweak it a bit to where I'm doing one day to expiration instead of 0 day for the leg that I'm selling, anyways. So, yeah, so I guess I'll get to the trades that I'm going to be doing next week here in a moment, but that's sort of a preview of what's going to be coming in terms of my trades for next week. There was also one additional trade that I made that also contributed to this loss, which was basically a bet on Tesla earnings. Um, I was sure that the Tesla shares were gonna just tank. Um, I thought earnings was gonna be bad given all of the basically all of the controversy around Tesla right now and Elon Musk, all of his political controversy, being involved with the Trump administration right now and feeling the impact of that on his business. And I was right on that front. There was an impact, but it investors just didn't seem to care. The stock pumped regardless. So um, yeah, I bought a TSLL put for like $60, and I ended up selling it back for like 15. So that was another loss that I realized during the week as well. That contributed pretty significantly to this $213 realized loss for during the week. In terms of unrealized gains, I had a 12.6%, 12.7 if I round up, um, a 12.7% up week in terms of unrealized gains. Nvidia and AMD went up for some reason. Nothing's really changed with the tariff situation. Um, just some speculation that maybe some talks with China are going, but that's about it. So I think we're going to see this come back down, which is why, and I'll just go ahead and get into this coming week's trades now, which is why I sold some covered calls, as you can see here. I sold an NVIDIA covered call at the 116 strike. I initially sold this for a very small premium when it was quite a bit more out of the money. I only collected $36 off of this. So yeah, and right now we're at almost 111 on the current NVIDIA price. So we're pretty close to being in the money here. And obviously, this call gained a lot of value since I sold it. So it expires on May 2nd, so this next coming Friday. So hopefully that will go well and I won't have to roll this. But if I do have to roll, then I'm prepared to do so. At the very least, my Nvidia shares are appreciating, and yeah, I can at least, be thankful for that given all the losses that we've been suffering for the past few weeks, for the past month. So that's Nvidia. I did a little better on my AMD covered call in terms of premium, anyways. It's a little closer to my cost basis. My cost basis right now is around 101, as you can see here. And the option that I sold, I think I sold for around $70 in premium, and that's right, 76. So I did a little better on the premium, but the strike is 101. So technically, if I were to get assigned here, I wouldn't technically lose money, but I wouldn't be making much either. It would be like a few dollars. So if AMD also keeps rising, um, I'll probably be a little more aggressive about rolling this one. Um, Next week's going to be interesting for AMD because AMD has earnings coming up. Not this next week, but the week after, I think. Let's take a look here real quick. I haven't made up my mind yet as to whether I'm going to sell a covered call during earnings week. I may have to if I have to roll this, but yeah, I haven't quite made up my mind. Sorry, I'm just looking for the earnings information. I know it's here somewhere. Here it is, May 6th, after hours. So yeah, those will be released not next week, but the week after. So hopefully this covered call that I have on will just expire out of the money, and then I can make my decision after that as to whether I want to risk putting on a covered call position that may get assigned if AMD skyrockets after its upcoming earnings. Earnings have gone pretty well for most of the companies that have reported already, or most of the big names, anyways, that I've been paying attention to. So, um, yeah, AMD could potentially see some significant upside if it follows the trends of the other companies that I've been seeing. So yeah, I sold some covered calls there, and then I didn't add any positions to my stocks, so nothing new there. And yeah, I bought a call that expires on April 29th for my next SPY calendar spread trade here. And then I sold a 558 call expiring on Monday, the 28th. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. The market's been going up quite a bit. This could get tested pretty easily, and possibly go down. I'm hoping my one day to expirations, you know, luck streak, so to speak, will manifest, but we'll see. The 0 day to expiration, um, calls or puts that I've been selling, they they've just been too close to current strikes, and what I mean by that is, the strike that, or the price that the, for example, SPY in this case is at the moment that I'm selling that position. Um, that's kind of the sucky thing about zero data expiration options, is that they're pretty close to your, um, to the current price of the stock. So you have to be right basically in which way the stock's going to move for the rest of the day. And I've just made some obviously, frankly, bad calls in terms of, intraday movements, what I think it's going to do, within a day. Um, so yeah, hopefully these 1 day to expirations will go a little better than the 0 DTEs that I've been doing. And yeah, that's basically all that's been happening here. I will do an April update, basically reviewing my month-long performance. I'll probably release that video on Wednesday or Thursday. And then I probably won't do my next video after that um, until the end of May. I'm gonna have some family coming into town during the month of May, and it's just gonna be too busy for me personally to continue doing these updates on a weekly basis during the month of May. So I will just do my do basically just one update at the end of May in terms of, what I do, how the portfolio is looking, etc. And, you know, I won't cover every trade, but I'll cover, you know, the ones that were most impactful to my account, of course. So, yeah, that'll do it for this update. Thank you for watching, and I hope your portfolio is doing a lot better than mine is.